Who's wrong and who's wronger? In this corner, followed by millions, James the Exploding Unicorn Breakwell. And in that corner, ignored by millions, Steve Olivas. All right, thank you. Woo, man, we come to, it's such great fanfare that welcomes us each week, James.
It really is. The deafening silence is just, it warms my heart.
I'm so used to it by now, anything sounds like something to me. Welcome to Wrong and Wronger, the show where James, the Exploding Unicorn Breakwell, and I, Steve Olivas, we debate about topics that most people have an opinion about, but very few people listen to arguments about. We actually bring a lot of good data to light.
Yes, if by data you mean complete nonsense with no information whatsoever, that's exactly what we bring to light.
And today is no exception. Today we have a good one cooking, and I'm not even sure what it is yet. James, what are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about the appropriate dating age. Should it be over 16 or under 16?
Ah, the Mason-Dixon line of driving. Is the driver's license the rite of passage? 16 years old. Well, before we get into that, we have the part of the show that I always find the most uncomfortable as James tries to say something nice about me.
So hard, so hard.
I know, I hate to put him through this, but on the other hand, I love it so much. I will start the festivities. I will say, and we were just talking about this a few shows ago, and so it's amazing that this has happened in the interim, but James won a Best Beard contest. And if you've seen his picture with your snazzy blue photo shirt for the photo shoot for your book, what is the book called again? I don't even remember. Only
Dead on the Inside, A Parent's Guide to Surviving the Zombie Apocalypse. Very sly, Steve. Very sly. People won't notice that at all.
I was going to get another copy. Where can I go to get that one, James?
You know, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, basically any brick-and-mortar bookstore, they're all there if you'd like one to see this beard that won this contest.
Well, it's funny you bring that back, because they were just talking about your forearm hair when you won that Best Beard contest, that you're very tall, and they thought you were kind of a shorter fellow, and so it was the forearm hair that won it for you. And that, I think, is quite a testimony.
Yeah, well, they should have been more specific with where they wanted the hair, but their bylaws didn't spell it out, and I just capitalized. I'm not ashamed. I took home my prize. It was a gallon of beard wax, and I don't know what to do with it, but I'll find something.
Now your arms stick together when you fold them. All right. Hey, you got something nice to say about me, too, right?
Yeah, just don't sound so desperate, Steve. Give me a second here. I'm thinking. So I got to say, I didn't think you had it in you, but you actually managed to collect all the state quarters and the outlying territory, except for one. There's one state that you refuse to admit as a state, which I found odd, but I admire your persistence.
You're going to say Pluto.
No, I was going to let you tell us the big reveal. Which state do you not acknowledge as a state, and what did you do with that quarter?
I cannot. I'll tell you what, growing up in Wisconsin, our natural rival is Illinois, and but Illinois, it's a love-hate thing with Illinois because I do like Chicago, and so it's a love-hate with Chicago too. Sometimes I think they should line up a bunch of bulldozers, push the whole thing into Lake Michigan, and start over again. But I never felt vitriol. I'm getting there. Never felt vitriol until I was a student at the University of Oklahoma, and Texas wins that prize for me. I'm not going to get the Texas quarter, even if I'm down 25 cents and missing a cog in the wheel that is my completed collection.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Our one Texas listener is going to be devastated.
I didn't know your mom lived in Texas.
Because we have no Texas listeners. We're safe. We're safe to insult pretty much any state in the union. Just go for it. We're not going to lose anybody.
But thank you. I didn't know anybody cared about my completed collection. I shot you the text and you ignored me.
Yeah. I gotta say something nice. So that's what we're left with.
All right. Well, we, as per usual, and by we I mean me, am about to flip the Guam quarter of fate. I pulled this one from my collection, and I don't have duplicates of Guam, so this is the only one which makes it special, and it determines the sides of the argument each week. And this determines your side of the argument.
So let's say heads up under 16, tails up over 16.
All right, heads is under, tails is over, and it is up. And it has landed on my notepad, and it is tails. Guam is looking at me. You have over 16.
Okay, well, this should be easy because that's pretty much where I ended up anyway.
I had no choice. I dated into my 20s. That's my first date.
Just by default, we might be the wrong two people to debate this one, as opposed to every other issue where we're also the wrong two people. But really, if you're dating before 16, you're not really dating because you can't go out anywhere and do anything. Like, if you have to ask your mom and dad to drive you someplace, are you really dating? I mean, you're constantly supervised anyway. It's basically, I don't even know what the term for that is. Awkward is what it is. Over 16, though, you've actually got a chance. You've got a little more responsibility. They trusted you with a 2,000-pound metal death machine. And if you can handle that,
wow,
you could probably handle some basic relationship choices. You understand a basic cause and effect relationship between, actions and consequences. So at that point, if we can trust you with the vehicle, we could probably trust you with the relationship. So I think that's ideal. Not that you ever control your kids completely. It's not that it's ever really up to you completely, but you kind of lose a little bit of that veto power anyway. Once they're out driving and you can't see them, I mean, what are you going to do? Put a tracking device on the car or take away the car? I can't think of anything worse than taking away the car because then you have to drive them to all their stupid sports. Like when my kids are 16, they're getting a car, and that's the last I'm going to see of them. So at that point, I guess they might as well date because they're basically out of the house anyway.
All right, father of 4 girls. We'll see where you're at when they turn 16. But the trend now, interestingly, is toward kids not even having any interest in their driver's license, which just confuses me.
Can't imagine that. What do they do instead? What? I explain yourself, Steve.
Well, now this is from having teenage daughter that her and her screwball friends. Now, my daughter wanted a driver's license because she wanted to work. It wasn't about dating. It was about starting to make money. But her friends would, hang out. That becomes the social activity of choice. And so one unfortunate person with a car, and my daughter had a van for a while, like a Scooby-Doo van, and so she would be carting everybody around, all of these other, I just called them deadbeat friends that just wanted to not get a driver's license. Like, where do you have to be in life? But the point is, getting back on the topic, you can't use the car and the driver's license as the Mason-Dixon line. It has to be the age of 16 and the potential to get a driver's license. And in my opinion,
one and the same. I'm splitting hairs, Steve. And you don't have many hairs to split.
Well, you've got enough for all 3 of us. You, me, and Cousin It that you have in a sleeper hold over there. But I am a firm believer that if kids go out, let them go out earlier than 16 to kind of work out some of the things that make it less awkward when the stakes are higher. The stakes get higher when you're driving because now the kids, if you go on a double date, for example, there's 4 of you and all of you are at the mercy of the mood of the person who is driving. And most parents hate that phone call where they got to go get their kid and scrape them out of a party or out of a movie theater or something because somebody had an argument and someone took off. So I think getting a little bit of that, the first date willies, getting them out of the way, getting kids used to being around each other and hanging out with the opposite sex, I think that's a good thing to do before 16 so they get a walking head start into how to do it once they turn 16.
Well, I guess I could see the advantage to them. If you want to turn them off dating forever altogether, definitely go before 16 just to teach them how awful it can be. Here's your date, guys. You're 12. We're going to take you both to Pizza Hut. We're going to bring their parents. We're going to bring us, and we're going to sit there. We're going to stare at you the whole time.
There is a chasm. A chasm.
That kid's going to be single till they're 35. That's how you make a cat lady or a cat guy. Cat guy should be a thing. Why is that not a thing?
Cat guys? Oh, no, they're out there. Believe me.
Are they? Okay.
Oh, they're out there. They're probably more pathetic than cat ladies.
Not that there's anything wrong with being I think being a cat lady is a reasonable life choice. I mean, why can't you have a million cats? What's wrong with cats, Steve? You're making enemies all over the place. You don't like Texas, you don't like cats.
I can't even remember if I was arguing for or against cats during our cats versus dogs debate.
Oh, whatever it was, you were wrong. I'm sure of that.
And by the way, there's a huge chasm between 12 and 16 where there's a whole lot of growing that goes. 12-year-old girls didn't even know I existed when I was 12.
Girls don't know you exist now.
Well, or 16 or 18 or 21.
Any age in between.
I was that guy.
I'm not sure your wife has met you yet.
Oh, she has. She was disgusted, but she has. Starting to question her own life choices. But not 12. 12 is a little young for me, unless they're going roller skating with a group or something and somebody holds hands and they kiss a little bit. I'm fine with that. But as far as like on a formal date, I don't think 15 is unreasonable.
Yeah, I guess you're still, but I mean, are you taking them there? Are you going to be like the direct supervisor for all of this?
Yes and no. No, I'm not. I would not be the helicopter parent, and I did have a daughter, so this isn't father-daughter kind of thing. But I think kids need to experience. Sorry, just.
What are you doing? Is that the Guam quarter again? You trying to reflip and get out of this?
I dropped a pen and it landed heads down in a place that probably didn't want to get stabbed right there. But the point is, I'm talking about my thigh. The point is.
Thank you for clarifying once again for the people who can't see this. There's a reason we can't do video.
I'm not wearing pants, and if it hits my thigh, it's going to leave a mark. That's all I'm saying. You forced me into it.
I thought maybe I could lead you out of there, but I couldn't do it.
You forced me into it. I don't even know this is the problem with me only paying attention to 40% of what comes out of my mouth and 20% of what comes out of yours. I don't even know what we were saying.
I'm going to win this argument because I've made points for one thing, and you don't even remember what you're talking about.
I'm not the kind of guy that's going to. My thing is always you don't learn to duck unless life bloodies your nose once in a while. Let kids experience things and get themselves into things and out of things. That you don't have an ID and can't get into the R-rated movie, and you got to think on your feet, or your debit card doesn't work at the soda shop or whatever. Like I like that kind.
Are your kids dating in 1945? Like what's going on here? How old are you?
I don't know what kind of debit card your family was dealing with in 1945.
The soda shop. What is that?
It's the shake shop where people go, the drive-in A&W root beer stand.
Those human people with their thoraxes and mandibles. Like, I don't think you understand children, people, soda shops.
They wear saddle shoes and big hoop skirts. Isn't that right?
This is your first day on Earth. Nice to meet you, Steve.
Kids need to get into stuff and get out of stuff. That builds confidence. That lets them know that once they can drive, that they're able to get into things because they can get out of them. Like, you got to build confidence in the world. You got to know how to talk to people. If you get stuck or you get lost or you don't know what you're doing, ask somebody. That kind of thing.
Here's where I come down. I just don't want to be involved in this process at all. If they start dating before 16, I've got to drive them places and be responsible and do that. I don't want that. I'm just going to tell them, wait till you can drive, then do what you want. That just makes so much sense to me. It's a clear-cut line. It gives them incentive to get the license, to get the insurance, to be responsible, and then they'll have a job that's crushing their soul, and they won't date anyway. And it won't be my fault. It'll be society's fault. It all works out. I've got a system. Don't take this away.
Who hurt you, James? Who was it? What happened?
Life came in and abused me and left, and man.
Wow. And it was a beatdown, too, whatever it was.
Limping ever since, man. I used a baseball bat. Yeah, but do you really want to go out and chaperone all those days?
No.
You go to the bowling alley and all. So you just drop them off and leave?
Yes, I would drop and leave. And the caveat being, I am one phone call away, and all you got to do is say the word, and your dad will be there. That's my point.
What is the word? Do you have a secret code word?
Yeah, the code word is Raven.
Just make the Raven sound.
Tippy toe, tippy toe.
And that ensures that they'll never date again. Because they hear them, their friends hear them cawing into the phone. They're like, okay, there'll be no second date.
I want that internalized, that I can go out on my own because Dad is one phone call away. That's what I like. That gives kids confidence, and that teaches them about maturity. That's how life works.
I think we are living very different lives here. I don't think...
apparently so. Mine is rational, and yours is post-traumatic stress disorder driven.
Yeah, I don't think the maturity fairy comes down to you at 15 or 16 or 21 or 35. I think that maturity fairy stays away. All the extended adolescence here. So, yeah.
Speak of the devil. There you are. All right.
Yeah. You should talk, Mr. I Don't Wear Pants, for a podcast. Come on now. Yeah, so I just think later is better. I met my wife when I was 18, freshman year of college. So and before that, like I think I might have had I technically had a girlfriend for a day. I asked her out and she broke up with me the next day. Never went out, so I don't think that counts. Like I only ever had one girlfriend and I married her. I was like, this is not going to happen again. Got to lock this in and we're done.
Oh,
I had the confidence to do that because I was over 16. I knew, you know what? I'm old enough to make a life-ruining decision. I'm just going to go.
And apparently so did your wife.
Apparently. I don't know what she was thinking. I know what I was thinking. I don't know what her excuse is.
As a little girl, she thought, I someday want to have 27 children.
I cannot wait to settle. That's what she was thinking.
Because I've had the best, and now I'm into the rest. And here comes James. All right. Well, we've kind of coasted to a stop on this one. We have a few minutes left, but if I dug into this whole not dating until you're 18 thing, I think both of us would end up crying.
Is that, I don't know, how old were you when you met your wife?
24, possibly 24. It's 24 or 25.
Those are your drinking years, weren't they?
Yeah, well, they were her drinking years, I'll tell you that.
What did you look like when she sobered up? She could not have been pleased with that.
She hasn't seen it yet. I just
Poor
keep
lady.
an IV of wine going in.
Oh yeah, someday I just shudder to think. Someday she's gonna wake up looking at you and be like, "Oh my God, what were the last 20 years?"
That was like
How long have you guys been married?
1992.
92. I like how you couldn't do the math. You had to give me the year.
Well, this is how I tell people how old I am. Thank God I turned 50. It's a round number this year. I have to subtract 1967, and then I go, sometimes if it ends in a 6, I subtract the 6 and add 1. Like, it's a very complicated algorithm I have to do to figure out where I'm at on the timeline.
It's complicated with kids, too, like for dating age. Like, am I even going to remember how old they are to be like, should you be dating now or not? Like, I'm not going to sit there and do the math. I'll probably be like, can you drive? If you could drive, I'll just toss you the keys and you'll go. And that'll solve all my problems. I mean, I am banking on that so much. When they turn 16, I'm basically done parenting. You're on your own. Solve your own problems now.
I remember going to my dad and asking if I could date, and he said, Steve, who let you out of the attic? It was a very uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah, the world was not better for it, that's for sure. Did you ever think about going back? Is that an option?
Where do you think my studio is?
It's a step up from the closet, huh?
Yeah, more of a lateral move, yeah.
Yeah, well, it would be a vertical move, actually.
Well done. Oh, there's that English degree coming in handy.
Yeah, boom.
All right, we're going to go out on a high note. We've crossed the 17-minute mark, and that's all we got for today. I think I can confidently say that I won this debate. I feel so good right now. I can't even put it into words.
I'm sure every parent who just pictured somebody like you on the dating scene has decided their children will never date.
No.
So I'm pretty sure I won.
Their daughters have way better taste than that. That would never go down. And it's not for a lack of trying on my part.
Men, women, everybody. Better off waiting till after 16. Get that card. It's the way to go. I'm sorry, Steve. You lose again. 15th time. Tough.
Well, what do you think? Let us know on social media. In fact, let James know. He loves fan mail. Get in touch with him on Facebook, Exploding Unicorn, and it's spelled the way you think it is, or on Twitter, @Exploding Unicorn, without the E, just a big X. And it is a big X. You got a capital X in the front of that thing, James. That's arrogance right there, hubris. Or get in touch with me, all lowercase, Steve Olivas on Twitter, @Steve Olivas, Olivas. And we'll come at you every week with a topic like this one. I like these parenting topics, James.
Yeah, I think it'll up our listeners from 1 to maybe 2, maybe 2.5. We'll see.
Oh, come on, show a little more hubris. We're gonna set the bar at 5.
Whoa!
I know. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, until next week, this is Steve Olivas for James the Exploding Unicorn saying thank you for listening, everybody.